checkers, wreckers, and more. Coming to you live.
Now your host, Paul and Chad.
Dude, right away, 14 viewers. I'm like,
Man.
what's up, everybody?
That's awesome. Good evening. Happy Super Shoe Monday, Facebook land and YouTube land.
Yeah, YouTube land. Hey,
Yeah, YouTube.
Alicia just set up. Oh, Alicia, one second.
Well, he's coming back. Make sure everybody give us a like, give us a follow on the Facebook page. Check out checkerswreckersandmore.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Be sure to comment on this so we can interact. I see Bubba, Chuck, Chris, Jimmy, the usual band of bandits already on board. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It means the world to us. And I think Chad is finally back.
I am. I always forget because Alicia's here with me. I always forget to turn my Bluetooth off. So when she puts the Bluetooth speaker in her ears, it goes to mine. I'm like, yes, Jimmy, I'm in a hat today.
I love it.
Alicia likes it when the hat's backwards. It's not my hat of choice today because,
What's that hat say?
I mean, you want to see what the hat says?
Yeah, what's it say?
We're going to go like this, Diggy the dog. We're going to wrap a little bit here and there.
See Dizzle.
No, just kidding. See Dizzle in the house. Everybody, let's go, Brandon. Let's hope that doesn't rub anyone the wrong way. I'm not going to talk political stuff. I just like the hat. This is from my sponsor. All from my sponsor, Chester's Wild Meat and Parchment. Go check them out. So, dude, 21 viewers already. I'm loving it.
Kenny Head, welcome back.
I think they all want to know about Super Shoe, man.
Man.
So before we talk about it, it was a mild weekend for us.
I mean, Saturday was a marathon, so I felt like everyone behaved. Wait, time on that. Ricky the Duke, feature winner after Ricky, is this your first Super Shoe victory? I don't know. Also, I'm going to preface this. I turn into a woo girl when I drink, apparently at Super Shoe, so I'm battling a little hoarse voice. So if I squeal like a preteen child, that's why.
Yeah, woo girl, I like that. It was Ricky's first Super Shoe victory. Man, we're going to talk about that because he was high side hustling in the skyboxes, and I loved it.
Man, me too. I like that high side.
Man, he was on a rail. But we'll talk about that a little bit because we're actually going to talk about the winners tonight. Super Shoe, we got to talk about it, right?
Hell yeah.
So let's talk about it. What was your take on Super Shoe this year, man?
Man, it was fun. I was a little worried. I know last Monday I was talking about how great the forecast was looking. That changed drastically as we got towards the weekend. And then Sunday looked like it was going to be a washout. And hats off to Kalamazoo Speedway for thinking ahead of the game. I think it was midday Friday, if not in the morning. They made the call to turn it into a one-day show and run it all on Saturday. And that was awesome because it was some of the best Super Shoe racing I've seen in a long time. Some of the most entertaining across the board. Weather was pretty decent Saturday. Had a little rain in the morning, but overall didn't get too cold. It was just a good time. And we had 169 cars, so that's 2 thumbs up on that. And a lot of rear-wheel drive cars. I felt like we had more than we did last year, which is always super exciting. But yeah, it was a great time. What was your take on it?
Dude, I'm kind of opposite here. It was a great show. Don't get me wrong. I like heat races, especially when it comes to Super Shoe.
Don't be that guy right now.
I'm not. No. I'm just saying I like heat races. So if like Gary posted something about giving him suggestions and all that, like I kind of want to reach out and be like, and I've seen people do it. Hey, let's go to 2-day shows. As I'm getting older, that 2-day show was nice. Like we spent Friday, we watched all the practice sessions and all that. And then Saturday was the racing, but 2-day show is nice, man.
Yeah.
That Sunday, it sucks. Especially when you got to get up and go to work on Monday. Like,
yeah. No, I agree. I say, here's my take before we go down this rabbit hole. Scratch practice, or if you do have an hour and a half of practice, run the heats on Friday night. Make that your qualifying right there. And then features on Saturday.
You're saying do qualifying as in heats?
Yeah, like Spartan does. I say do it that
Oh.
way. Draw for your position in the heat race, set it up, and Alicia, you weren't there Friday. You checked out about 9 o'clock.
It was long before 9 o'clock. My wife was not doing good Friday night. We're not. We won't talk about that though, just to spare her a little bit here. She had fun though, dang it. That's the most important thing.
That is.
You know, I actually, you know, I didn't even think about that. You make them heat race for their starting positions, like.
Yeah.
That's another episode, man, because we can go on for hours about this.
Yeah, I'd say we get Gary on an episode and have a roundtable discussion on what we want to do next year. Because me and him, I was a little toasted at that point, but we had a discussion about doing something. So I got more to say about that.
No, I mean, I like the idea. So that might be a future episode. So Paul and I, all right, I'll back it up a bit. So Saturday afternoon, I sent Jason a message. Didn't think I'd get the response I was going to get. And I'm like, hey, what's it going to take for Paul and I to come announce a race? And he's like, get here early and we'll make it work. And I'm like, okay. So we get up there like 5 o'clock thinking we had an hour. I'm like, hey, let's get up there early, bring him some Jello shots. Paul's wife makes delicious Jello shots and pudding
except
shots.
The PB&J.
I didn't try one of those because I see people get it. Anyway, we get up there and guess what? Paul and Chad, we're announcing the first race of the night, which I mean to me that's quite an honor. I mean, we got the first race of the night, man.
Yeah. I learned I don't want to be an announcer. I can't give Jason Seltzer enough credit because those cars. I felt like I was doing good, doing the pace laps. Then the green flag hit, and I just went into fan mode for the most part. Forgot to keep talking.
So if you watch Top Row's video of that race, you were actually talking. You were doing good. There was some stuff you were saying, and I was saying, and we're like, well, what are we even talking about here? If I could change anything about announcing, I want to have headphones to listen to myself because when those cars go on, you can't hear yourself talk.
No.
And it might be why Jason probably doesn't really talk too much while they're going around the track.
Could be.
But, dude, that was a blast. I had fun.
Yeah.
That was quite the experience, and we can't thank Jason enough for letting us get up there. Yes, Jimmy, slide job. There's a shot. We had plans, and a lot of stuff did not happen when we said we were going to make it happen.
Nope.
Like Paul's going to call every racer Tits McGee. That never happened. But it was a great time. But we ended Super Shoe with and I'm so disappointed I couldn't upload this video in time. Paul's big race. Good. Paul, I'm going to let you talk about your big race.
So I have a buddy from the east side of the state, Munger, I believe is actually his hometown. He hurt his back, and he messaged me, I think it was last Monday, because that's where I broke the news. They were doing a figure eight Power Wheels race after the A feature, or whatever was going to be happening Saturday. And he's like, hey, I hurt my back. You want to take my spot? I'm not going to turn that down. So there were some rules involved. I'm like, I can follow that. He ended up fabricating a body, 51 body, looks just like my late model. Alicia printed up some decals for us. The thing looked awesome. And shout out to Brad. He owns a company. It's called Dead Short Race Car Wiring. If you ever need your shit hooked up and hooked up well, go see him because there's 3 batteries in this Power Wheels, and I did not anticipate how much torque that damn thing was going to have. It threw the green flag, and I floored it, and I popped a wheelie. Gravedigger would be proud of.
No. Hold up. Before the race even started, you flipped over backwards.
Well, they're tiny, man. I'm a big guy.
There is video. I will share it to the page.
There's a couple good ones floating around.
Yes, there's great videos. So I will put it on the page. Go check that out because that just shows. I mean, everyone there was having fun, but that is what this sport is all about. It's just having fun, and
that's what that event is about. Yep, and there's some rumors floating around it. It may be a sanctioned event next year. So I want to see 50 of these things on the front stretch. Let's do one lap, winner takes all type deal. So
you're talking one lap like around the whole track?
Yeah, one lap around the whole track. I've already reached out to Seneca Performance. They're building me a brand new Power Wheel as we speak. I'm going to win this damn thing next year.
Now, Paul, you told me when I first started racing that it's not about the equipment you're in, it's the driver too.
Well, if we do this at that point in the night, this driver has zero racing skills left in his body. So.
Oh, man. But yeah, if anyone watching has never experienced Super Shoe, go check it out. Spend the day, spend the night, spend the whole weekend, whatever you do, just try it at least once.
Yep.
Friday night, we basically drove around a lot. We were the fools. I mean, you've seen my live video I tried doing. We were going Facebook Live.
We got a stern talking to from Kenny Head. So shout out. Thanks for letting us continue.
We were being good though. I mean, we had no intentions of going fast as it was, but he did. He came up to Jimmy and I in the front seat. He's like, "Look, I am all for this." He's like, "But just maintain this speed. You got it, Kenny. We got you, buddy."
For as much weight as we could on that trailer, it wasn't going to go that fast anyway.
No. There was a point where we were full throttle and we were not moving. But yes, Hambone Express, choo-choo. But yeah, just go experience it one time, and I guarantee you'll want to go back. So,
for sure.
Let's talk about the winners, man, because there's quite a few of them. They end up having D features. Nope. Yep. Yes, D features. Sorry, little. Whew. I'm actually not in pain right now, Emily. Thank you. I'm actually doing pretty good. Thank you. And yes, Brad, nobody anticipated the second flip.
I am, to answer Kelly's question, quite bruised. The elbow swelling has gone down, so that's exciting. It's only about the size of a tennis ball now. So
Paul thought he could Fred Flintstone off the trailer while it was moving.
Okay, well, we were going like 3 miles an hour. I thought my legs would try to keep up.
So that's 2 times this year that he has fallen off a trailer.
No, the other time's last year.
You right?
We digress.
Anyway, okay. Anyway, so yes, they had a D feature. So for front wheel drive D feature, yours truly and Paul and I announced Mark Eaton. He was untouchable, man. He got up front and he was gone. Rear wheel drive D feature. This is where I'm a little confused because on Race Pass it says Jack Cook, but I'm pretty sure he got black flagged for going over his time.
Twice.
So Bobby Bearing, twice. Bobby Bearing took the win. Front wheel drive C, Bailey Powell's. Oh boy, here we go. Stroking out. Rear wheel drive C, Mr. Ricky Mofo LeDuc. Huge win for him. It was awesome.
Nice job, Ricky.
Front wheel drive B, local Matt LC. Rear wheel drive B, guy we've talked about before at Galesburg, Josh Trammell. Front wheel drive A. Man, I'm going to tell you right now, this is what I want to talk a little bit about. Ben Wilcox, Dave Leonard Jr., and LC Jr. The times they were putting down on those front wheel drive car was amazing.
Yeah.
Just back and forth, those three were going in qualifying practice sessions. It was awesome to watch. But Ben Wilcox, man, he took the win. He got out front, and it was a three-car race for a while, and nobody was catching them.
Quick interjection. Shout out to that entire race. I think that was the only feature of the night that managed to go caution free. And it was a damn good race. So
it was all the racing was good. I mean, then rear wheel drive A. Man, Billy Shannon.
Effin' Shannon.
He came out and he won it. I tell you what, that race, it was weird. I mean, most of your big shot guys who you would have put money on to win that race were taken out in not even a lap one crash. Thanks, Paul. I was gonna do it, but yeah. And it took out a whole group of cars, but I don't know if anyone was gonna get Shannon. He was on a rail.
He was. Oh, I think we lost Chad. All right. Well, Chad's just staring longingly into the camera. Oh, there he goes. He's back.
Please,
Nope. Well, all right. So we're running a little behind schedule already. So we're gonna condense some things into one while Chad gets going here. But also shout out. We're gonna talk about this a little bit later on. Bryce Bozell becoming the youngest driver to ever make the A main in the rear wheel drive class at Super Shoe. We're gonna dive down this conversation a little bit later. That young man, super impressive. All weekend was super impressive. He was fun to watch. But yeah, nice job. And Billy Shannon, dude, I've known that guy a while. He's always smiling, always a nice guy. And it was like a Dale Earnhardt-esque moment afterwards when he was coming back through the pit area up top. Everybody high-fiving him as he drove through. So really cool experience. Yeah, so congrats to all the winners at Super Shoe. Enjoy those trophies. But while Chad comes back before we get our guest on, hey, there he is. Maybe.
I don't know if I'm on or not. Wi-Fi just went out, of course.
Yep, you're on.
Okay. What did you talk about our next part or no?
We're gonna skip NASCAR. We'll talk about that later since we're a little behind schedule. I'd say we go right into top row.
All right. So our huge guest tonight, very excited to pull him on. He is an awesome guy. So, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, welcome Top Row Racing Media.
What's up, buddy?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
We are
absolutely.
great. So first off, all I'm going to say right now is, and I know I talk to you every time I see you, but thank you for everything you do.
100%.
Not only for us racers, for the fans, but for the tracks. What you do is grade A, man. And we've talked about that, and I am glad that you came around to Kalamazoo because you're a great person, and we're glad you're there.
Well, thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Absolutely. How's your day going, man?
It was an interesting day.
That's fair.
Teacher life doesn't stop ever not being interesting.
Remember that.
So what was your thoughts on Super Shoe?
Oh, I had a lot of fun. I mean, being able to be there, see all the drivers, I know some South Bend guys, obviously I know some of the Kalamazoo guys now. That was, just to see them, to see, Billy Shannon after the race, he came up to me and thanked me. I think of myself as like a Joe Schmo, like I'm just there, pointing cameras at things going, I hope it looks good. I hope it looks okay. And he's like, you're all over. And that meant a lot, so it was really awesome. And you guys are entertaining. I mean, you're always entertaining, but
we try. We definitely try. It's our goal to go out and have fun and make sure everyone around us has fun. So I'm glad it's wearing off. So Paul, I'm gonna let you jump in real quick and start with some questions with him.
All right. Well, first one, because I got asked this, you took a photo of me and a friend I haven't seen in like better part of 15, 16 years, Saturday night. And I found it on your Smug Mug site. Awesome. It was cool to go through all the photos, relive the race. Can people purchase your photos? That was a question I was asked, and I said, I'm going to find out.
Yep. I'm going to be setting that up after the show.
Perfect. That's awesome. So there we go. Got the answer to that one. So a lot of mine are follow-up to Chad, so I'm going to kick it back to you, Chad.
I kind of figured that.
Yeah.
It's usually how it goes. So, why don't you tell everyone, who is Top Row Racing Media?
Oh, say it again. I got an alert. Apparently, it's going to rain tomorrow morning. So
you heard it here first. Breaking news.
Breaking news. Okay, who is Top Row Racing Media?
Oh, well, the person behind it. I'm Lewis, and I'm a teacher, a special ed teacher for students with emotional impairment. So, that's something that I do in the day job. And so behind it, I race fan, started going to Santa Fe Speedway when I was a little kid and watching Tony Izzo and all them. And to Grundy, went to Ileana, went to LaSalle, all over South Bend, Plymouth, Montville, and 40. So always been around it, and a few years ago, 2016, 2017 is when I started going back. I went to South Bend. The Sauer Group had just bought South Bend. Looked at my mom and I said, why don't we give it a shot? So I sit there, make a lot of friends there. And during the pandemic, I decided I'm going to go live for the races. And a few years later, last year, a lot of drivers, starting with the Davis family, who I sponsored this year. They're my first sponsor. They friended me on Facebook and came across my videos. Becky Hanna was always a huge friend and supporter, saying, you need to do this, you need to do this. And so I said, let me finish my master's degree, which I did in December. And then,
Congrats.
yeah, 4.0, that's
nice.
teaching during a pandemic and master degree. And, at getting it done. And so January came around, and that's when we started. And the Top Row name, I did a lot of research behind it, probably a little ridiculous, the amount of research I did, but I wanted to make sure no one else was using that name. And so, I found Oklahoma. There was someone who was using Top Row photos or something close to that at a dirt track in Oklahoma. Reached out to them, said, hey, I'm going to start this page. I do videos. No, I do photos, but, do videos. Could I use the Top Row name? And do all four. Like, I don't even use that anymore. I'm like, okay. So that's how Top Row came to be. And then, so that's a little bit of the person behind Top Row. I usually try to stay behind the camera, and, the accolades certainly go to all the drivers. I mean, there wouldn't be Top Row racing, certainly, if there weren't drivers in track. So,
Man,
That's
a
awesome.
damn good story. Real cool story.
Yeah. Nope, I like that. So, Paul, what I'm going to do, because you said a lot of them piggyback off mine. Once I ask the question, if your next one follows up with that, just jump right in, man. All right, good?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh, hey. All right, I can't. Tyler? All right, you're lucky, man.
I think we're losing Chad again. All right. Well, while Chad comes back online, I'll just I'll roll into. Oh, he's back.
I'm the magic man.
Here's something.
Okay. So you kind of touched on it, but tell us what made you start doing what you're doing. Why did you decide to take photos and do videos?
Yeah, well, my brother was living in Green Bay at the time, and then during the pandemic.
Oh, I think we lost him.
No,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there.
No, it's
You're
you.
good. Yeah, it's just you, Chad.
Yeah.
I quit.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
Did my question come through or no?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah. So, starting out, so my brother lived at that time in Green Bay, so he came down for like the Gambler and that kind of thing at South Bend. South Bend's been my home track, basically, and then I decided, man, so many of the Michigan guys, and I'm in Michigan, I'm right here in Michigan myself, and we were shut down. But I could go, 20 miles down the road, and, Indiana's like, hey, welcome, everyone, come one, come all, And so, obviously, I was throughout the whole pandemic, I was going down to South Bend, and I started doing live because there are a lot of people who are very cautious about it, who are very careful about it. So, I don't think I ever cost the track money because I got like 7 views, 8 views, 9 views. And, if you had that up over 10, 12, 15 bucks, I don't think it was a hit, because people are watching.
Yeah.
The day, July 25th, was the week before. I got to remember when Logan Maynard, came back from 4th and won the race on the last lap, that, there's 200 cars on the property. And I think maybe that was the Jim Blount Memorial or something like that. There's a big thing going on where 200 cars, I mean, it's like 210, whatever. were there. And so like how many people got to see that, eventually through my live videos, because it's all now on YouTube, that, didn't get to, because, they're being cautious. And so that kind of started. And then I decided for 2021 that I would continue to do the live videos for features only. I wasn't doing heats. I wasn't doing a whole thing. But like I said, my friend Becky Hanna, my bestie, and my friend Greg Kirk, they're like, YouTube channel. And South Bend, they have a fantastic videographer who's there every week, drives in from, Illinois, takes great, coverage from turn 2. And so I was like, they already have someone. I don't, I'm really careful about stepping on toes. I just don't want to step on anyone's toes. But I did a live, it wasn't costing, again, people weren't always going. So the Davis family was the first racers to come across my videos. Oh, my battery's just telling me I have 20%. We're good. And so, they came across, and the next thing I know, like 100 friend requests in 2 weeks came across. And it was because I call myself the TV view. I'm coming out of turn 4, so I'm the front stretch, and, the other videographers in turn 2. So, for a driver, they're like, I'm getting stuff from you, I'm getting stuff from him, and they're like, got 2, like, So then, as the drivers were encouraging, they're like, hey, you should do this. And again, it came down to the degree, like, let me finish the master degree. Because that's, at one time I was taking 3 classes at one time. So it's like, I got to get that done. And they were 6-week courses. So, it's going crazy. And I said, done in December, then I can start looking at everything. Well, in November, I started to do like a weekly Saturday showcase just to practice editing. So some of those videos are on there. The first one I did was Jaden Kratowski's win with Rich Bull. They got together in turn 4, and for wrestling fans, it's controversy creates cash. So Eric Bischoff. So I'm like, well, that was a big money race. So I had fun with that and practiced it. Certainly, nothing to be damaging. They're both great drivers. And so it was like, let me title it, let me try different things. And I explained it, this is for me to learn how to edit. I've never edited before. I didn't know what I was doing. And if you look back, you might go like, how did someone continue to let him edit? Like, it was not good. I go back and watch and like, how did I get here? How did I get to stand at Kalamazoo in the tower? How did I get to be at Hartford, weekly standing there? Like, how did I, like, I think like November, where I came from to now, kind of crazy. And again, it's the drivers were very encouraging. My friends obviously were encouraging. My mom, my stepdad were very encouraging. So, it was like, okay, we're going to do it.
Yep. Well, dude, it's we'll keep saying this. It's awesome to watch it, especially when something crazy happens and you got it right there. We can just watch it on repeat. So thanks again, man. It's super cool to watch.
Well, it came to be because I went, down to the Bristol Dirt Nationals week 1, and XR, they watch everything you do.
Yep.
The social media guy, great guy. He came up thinking, are you streaming? Nope. I everything out showed I'm not hooked up to internet. I'm not anything. I'm not here to cost your subscriptions. I'm here getting videos for me to practice for the season, different things that I wanted to do. And but what I did is, as I was going into drivers, I had a page. We weren't even at 100 likes yet. I was kind of like, okay, it's March, and I'm putting videos out there, and it's 100. So I'm getting like, this is going to be a big dud. And sure enough, I started practicing things there. So I went to Iowa, and I spotlighted him, followed him, ran into Rick Walker, or Craig Walker, excuse me, from New Mexico, who races at Alien Motor Speedway. And I followed them, and I was posting them, keeping updates on how they were doing. And so one of the Davis family people, Brandon, he had joked, Abuju, he had joked and said, you're going to be like Top Row Racing Media. What he didn't know is at that time I was sitting under a blossom tree. Sounds weird, I know, but that's where I was. Sitting under a blossom tree, working on a logo that had media in it. And so that's where, I'm like, I kind of try to think ahead. As a teacher, you're always thinking ahead. You're always trying to plan. And so for me, I'm thinking ahead, where could this go? What could this be? What can I try now within XR's rules, as a fan, that, I can practice with. And so there are things that came from Bristol that I've been able to try here. And then the highlights, I call it my race day coverage. That just kind of started because there was, what was the first race? The checkered flag lap, Andrew Coates, street stock. He won his first ever feature. I posted it and it just took off, that kind of stuff took off. So I'm like, okay, people like this. So I'm going to keep, the checkered flag lap. And then it came, there's a really good wreck. We're going to post that. And then, it just kind of morphed to, I'm going to start taking pictures. And then, it just kind of did its own thing. Really, nothing forced. And like I said, then, here we are now where, my page, I was worried about getting 100 and we're almost at 3,000.
Yep. Sky's the limit at this point. That's what I got to say, especially with your talent, man.
Well,
I agree.
Yep.
I
So
agree.
what's you talked about a lot of different tracks you shot at. Is there one that stands out that's a favorite of yours that you just every time you see what's that?
I knew you were going to ask that question. Because if I'm on your side, I'm going to ask that question. So,
right.
It's a tough one because I think everyone's a little different. I will say, the races that are harder to cover are the nods. There's just no way to get everything. And I try and that's the thing. I'm as far as really the only videographer, tell me that, in the area that does nods. I'm not afraid to embrace them. I embrace the nods. I love the nods. Tyler Casper, actually, I here. I sponsor. He won my package at the sponsor package in March, I think it was, or February. And, we got it on stock, but, that guy, he knows how to win some nods. And so, watching those, it's like I embrace them. I'm not afraid to go and do a nod. I've done Hartford, Kalamazoo, and South Bend. But I still think my favorite track out of all of them, because of characteristic, is South Bend. Yes, it's home. I love Kalamazoo. Don't get me wrong. Watch everyone zoom around there and seeing that, but I love the quarter mile. At South Bend, if it can happen, it's going to happen, and it will happen quick. But I certainly, I was at Hartford this year, and I grew up, like I said, going to San Jose. So, watching Tony Izzo and all that. So going to Hartford, it was kind of like, man, I feel like a little kid. Because growing up as a kid, we went to Grundy on Friday, asphalt, LaSalle on Saturday, dirt. This year is kind of reversed, where I was doing dirt on Friday and then asphalt on Saturday. So, that's where I would go. But like I said, I like them, like them all. And I'll be at Springport in a couple weeks here, and I'm looking forward to that. I've never been there. I've been kind of by it, but I know it's like way out in the boonies. So,
Yep.
if I see Children of the Corn or something, I'll let you know.
Oh, you'll see that.
Yep, big time. I think Lindsay said it best a couple of days ago. Your cell phone services will be very few and far between there. So,
may have to be how I do things, but we'll see.
Yep.
Springport's a great track.
Yeah. Talk about, all right, favorite track. Is there a class that when they're out on the track, you absolutely love it from what you do standpoint, but as a fan too, that really just gets you going?
Well, I may lose followers with this, but it's okay. I love watching the Cyber Stocks, the Zoo Stocks, the Hornets. I mean, that's who I started sponsoring. I think they put on some of the best racing, there is. But I like watching Adam Terry. I like watching Cannon. I like watching Matt Frazier and Kevin Sauer in his late model. He's come such a long way from the first couple years that he was running to now, where he can go out and win in any night. Charlie Hanna, such outlaw late models. Obviously, I don't like I've been to Slinger. I'm not a big template kind of guy with their super late models. I'll watch the Sportsman template here, but watching it at Slinger, even though that's a bad pass track too, it's like I'll go to South Bend. That is the real world's fastest quarter mile. So so it's one of those things that Cyber Stocks and Hornet.
No judgment. It's all right.
Hey, I was there when you got your decals, so
that's true. That is very true. Very true.
We got the hug.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. All right, Chad, what do you got?
Just to let everyone know, because of my internet situation at home, it's gonna get dark here soon, so it'll be fun trying to see me, but we're gonna work through it.
What did you say outside like you? I didn't want you to be, I'm not in my car, because I didn't, Lincoln Town coming around saying, what are you doing sitting in a car in the park,
Yeah, I need to figure out my internet thing. I just need to go pay somebody or something. I don't know. It's a long story. It sucks though. Jimmy, you can contest that. So pretty much, I mean, you've been around the sport a long time. What do you think is going to help bring short track racing back to its prime?
Well, when I think about it overall, I think, that from that fan experience side, I think, watching the races, what's going to get people interested is, having that competitive, race after race as much as possible. We know, like South Bend, you put the Hornets on the track. It used to be, old school wrestling fans would kind of think of the old school, like WWE, where, the women's matches were the bathroom. So the Hornets were the bathroom break. Everyone went to the bathroom when the Hornets were on the track, and they were putting on a show. And I think, as the talent pool has gotten deeper and deeper, when people see that, that's going to keep them coming and talking. I think, social media, I don't want to, toot the horn, but I'll take the opportunity to, I think having that kind of coverage, it can hurt, because people then know, well, I can watch it on Top Row next day. That's a goal of mine, is to get it out next day, as long as YouTube agrees with me. And didn't last night. Sorry to the A feature guys in the front wheel or the rear wheel who didn't get theirs until midnight or after midnight. So, but it was in YouTube for 2 hours. I did what I could. So I think it can hurt, but I also think, like, racetracks, they don't have the staff there that go out and post nonstop. Tony Eldridge does a really great job going live when he can, but this year he was the flag man. I'm sure he sold popcorn at some point. He was clearing the track, getting, he's doing a lot. With Lisa Hart, who's the race director at South Bend, and they don't have time to go around and take photos and pictures of everyone. So that's where I think, having someone like me, coming in and, a lot of people notice that I was posting, every few minutes, when drivers are on the track, posting, I think her name was Shonda, the UMP modified driver from North Ohio, first time in 3 years racing. It's those kind of things that, could get people interested, because, they might be a lapsed fan who's like, well, I haven't been to Kalamazoo in a while. Now I see it on video. I want to go watch that. So I think that can help. I think, once we come out of this whole pandemic thing, and, I don't want to say we're in it, but I don't want to say we're out of it, because, COVID is still kind of going around. And so I still think there are people who are being cautious about it. But I think, putting on competitive and, we lost Paul, entertaining races as much as possible, will keep people coming. Because, like, think of the Night of Destruction last week. That video from the spectator race got 67,000, 68,000 people talking. Good or bad, right? They're talking. So
Yep,
they're
I agree.
I want to go to Kalamazoo. They saw Scarecrow. I want Scarecrow at our track. I was telling Leah Dibble, I had a phone call with her earlier to talk about something, and that school bus race, the Race of Doom, that clip, 24 seconds. That's all it was. 24 seconds. The number of people who it's reached would sell out the big house. 24 seconds of a school bus exploding, fireworks. Who would have thought? I thought the truck flipping over would have got the views, but it was the school bus, blowing things up. So, Colorado and Wyoming people, that was shared out a lot there. Promoter reached out saying, what's that race? What's that going on? And so I think it's things like that. What's going to draw people in? And I think tracks are doing that. We just got to get people there.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
So another one. I think this is going to be my last question. But when people hear the name Top Row Racing Media, what's your hopes on what they think?
I'll start with the personal I've always struggled with confidence. Yeah, I'm a social person. I'll go and I'll talk to someone and have a conversation. But earlier in the year, if you'd asked me, I'd always think people at Hartford, they've never had video coverage before. As great of a track it is, no one has gone there. And so, one of the track crew, they're like, "Oh, it was great videos. You did such great work after my first time there." And I would go, "Yeah, but, yeah, but, now because of the drivers and everything, it's like, thank you. I don't have the but anymore to it. You guys have given me so much confidence in what I do. This is probably the first time really in my life that I've been as confident in what I'm doing as I am." And so I think when I hear, people talk about Top Pro, I certainly want them to think like, damn, we want that kind of guy at our track. We want, because, my goal there is to showcase every driver that I can. In my videos, I want every driver in there because I know that's sponsorship. That's people seeing, I think of Gunnar Gale, going out and getting his first heat win. And I was glad that I could be there to get that on video. That's something that, he can take forever, with him. And so I think
Absolutely.
it's where people, me personally, I don't need the accolades. And even as Top Row, I'm not looking for the accolades. But I want people to think positive about the page and go that's the kind of person we want at our track. We want that kind of coverage at our track because, it gets the drivers out there.
Yep.
And in a world where every dollar counts or penny, for some race teams, at Bristol for a photo, they're charging $64 after $200 pit pass, $200 parking thing, and $200 that. And you're like, teams like Craig Walker from New Mexico, he came by himself, until the weekend. And so, for someone who is spending a lot of money to go there and they nickeled and dimed, and that's their business model, that's fine. But they nickeled and dimed everything. It's like, I sat there, I looked at my brother, who goes to Cedar Lake up in Wisconsin, and I went, that's not what my page is going to be. And so, that's what I hope is that we'll find that we're bringing a positive look to the sport. I can go to Bowman Bay and get views that way, or I can post, Billy Shannon, winning race and getting 3,000 views or whatever, and us celebrating those moments.
Yep.
I like
awesome.
it, man. I like it.
Yeah, me too.
That's all I got, Paul. You got? I don't know if you got
Yeah,
anything.
I got two more, man. So I hope you say no to this just because I'm selfish and I love what you do for the sport on your end. But do you have any aspiration to drive?
No.
No?
If you
All right.
watch me on NASCAR racing, you know why.
Okay. Fair enough.
Now, my brother iRacing, and he's wanted to drive before and all that. And but when we race each other, we can easily turn a NASCAR race into a demolition derby.
All right. That's fair.
So,
That's fair.
so noted that he is in for Night Destruction.
That's
Tyler,
what I
if you're
heard.
on the show, Tyler, if you're still watching, get Lewis down for Night Destruction.
Yep.
We will get somebody up there to record your race for you. We're meeting you in Night Destruction next year.
Well, the last minute group, unfortunately, Hudson and Daniel got together during Hot Lap. That was a hard hit. I do know how to crash the car. Controller, things aren't going my way. Get loose on the lap. I turn around and start crashing everyone.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. My mom said she'll record it. That's my mom. So hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Oh. Not yet.
But no, now when I was a kid, sitting in fifth grade classroom in Michigan City, Indiana, wanting to say, I want to be, this is when Jeff Gordon was popular. So give me a little bit of a break. I was fifth grade, but, I wrote a paper how I want to be like Jeff Gordon. I want to go race. I want to win the Daytona 500. I want to do these things, but I enjoy being the fan. Enjoy watching the drivers have their moments. It doesn't cost me money, per se to, yeah.
Well, I mean, you just answered my follow-up question. I was like to find an influence who you did. So Jeff Gordon, that's a good one. So
Well, in fifth grade,
in fifth grade.
I've always been short track. I don't watch NASCAR now. I'm not a NASCAR fan. I'm sure that'll cost me some followers too, but I don't watch NASCAR. It's I don't watch the NFL much. I'll watch college football.
Yep.
I won't say what team I go for because that will definitely lead to less followers. But they might be a little Irish. But that's that I enjoy being a fan. I enjoy watching those moments happen, and it's not to say if someone came around and said, hey, you want to sit in a car and take it around for a couple laps, I'm able to be like, well, tell me I'm in Chicago traffic or Milwaukee and you'll get some good laps, or tell me I'm driving around New Buffalo or something and I'll be like, okay, I'll go slow, like whatever it may be. But no desire. My friend Greg, who I sit by at South Bend, he's owned a car. He's like, you want to get a car, and I'm like, no, I don't feel like it. But the last minute group, they where I was going is, with the demo derby, they're like, we'll put you in a knot and you can have your in-car camera in there and get some good footage. And so we were talking about it, but again, it's kind of like I like being in the stand though. Not that I'm against it, but I like being.
That's
What
well,
you do,
luckily,
Chad?
I know some guys at PJP that can probably make some laps happen. So when you're ready, you just let us know.
Definitely.
Nope. I think we lost you a little bit.
Oh, me? Oh,
no, you're back. You're back.
I gotta inspire my wife's idea of a light for me.
It's beautiful.
You like it? I mean, it's working great.
It is.
I mean,
better than last week.
If you turn the light off, you're not seeing me.
Nope.
She turned her flashlight on her phone.
Yeah.
She's a entrepreneur.
She's a thinker.
Oh, then you got car in front of me kicking lights on. But again, Lewis, man, we can't thank you enough for everything you do. Your videos are awesome, and your work is just phenomenal. So thank you again from from Paul and I. Just thank you
from everybody at the short tracks, man. Thank you, because you definitely made this year more fun than it was, being able to relive the moments. So thank you, dude.
Well, and you're all very welcome. And I certainly appreciate, I felt bad, when the stickers were handed out at Kalamazoo, Tim and Matt got on that with the stickers. Tim reached out, asked for the logo. I sent it to Matt. And so I was sitting in Hartford, watching the pictures come through, for me, I kind of an emotional guy. And so, I'm watching that and it's like, there are no words for it. I still don't have words. And obviously I can talk, and, there's still that gesture. And so then when I'm at Plymouth the next day and I see, Kalamazoo guy with, one of my stickers on there, it's like, it hits different, because again, I'm walking around, I kind of in focus mode because I'm trying to get every car, at least one picture of every car, especially for my driver spotlights, nominations always accepted. But it's one of those things that I saw that and it's like, it meant so much. And then actually at Plymouth Grand Slam, when I was walking around the corner, Matt Frazier saw me, stopped talking, said, I didn't get a sticker. And I'm in focus mode. I'm like, okay, I got this car because Bozell's are right there. And then there were a couple others. And so I'm like, I got this car. Matt Frazier's talking. I probably had a weird look at first because I'm like snapping out of like focus mode. And, I said, well, Curtis is bringing some down. He said, as soon as you get them, bring them over. And it's like, what? Oh, in my mind, I'm like, again, I sometimes think like, what have I done to do that? When Charlie Hanna and Sage, they were the first rear-wheel drives to put stickers on their car, late model. Who would have, I dreamed to be on an outlaw late model. Can't afford an outlaw late model, but I, dreamed to do that. And it's like, it's those kind of things that it just means a lot. So, it's certainly when I leave a pit area, drivers say thank you. I always make sure I respond back with thank you, because again, top row would not exist. It wouldn't even be a thing if there weren't drivers and drivers who, when I come around with my camera, and my iPhone, taking pictures, they're moving on my way. And I always go, you don't have to move. But it's like, get in their car, they're like, get the shot, take that photo or do this. They'll say, hey, get a sponsor, which helps me because, then we're going to get that sponsor out there. But that's where it's always like, thank you.
Yep. That's awesome. Well, dude, I look forward to next year, end of this year. It's gonna be a good time. Look forward to a lot more good memories.
Oh yeah. Well, we're working on plans for next year with drone footage. The goal is to not crash the drone and pull out a caution because the videographer crashed the drone. I am
That gets some views though.
yeah, and eye rolls. Just he can't even fly the drone, and in-car camera, which I'm working on. Gunner, carried the camera for me on Saturday, and then John Wood from Last Minute, he gave me GoPro. So we're gonna try to do some in-car stuff as well as the TV view, as I call it. So we're working on that, and I'm excited for that.
Heck yeah, absolutely, man. Well, cool. Well, thank you again.
Yes,
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for the invite. When I saw it, when Chad messaged and I read that, I was on my way to school. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, there are many more people who could be on here, so that meant a lot too that you guys sent that out and
Nice.
It. So as always, thank you.
No, appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep listening to you guys. I'm sure your audience, although the views have stayed, so I'm not a ratings killer, but
not at all.
But certainly, I'll continue to listen to you guys and support you any way that I can. So always let me throughout the off season. I can support you and your page.
We appreciate that, man. And shout out, I think Lindsay, a couple comments up, tag you in it. Top Row Racing Media. Give them a like, give them a follow. You won't see better work on the interwebs. So fantastic work. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah,
I know. Hi, Lewis. Have a great night, man.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Take care.
All right. So, man, that guy, we can sit and talk a long time about him. When we first met him, I said, he's good. And heck of a guy.
I'll say to this day, he's better than NBC's NASCAR coverage by tenfold.
Yeah, we've told that from day one.
Yep.
So, we're just going to jump right into it, man.
Yeah.
We're just...
This is my new favorite segment. My new favorite segment.
Your new favorite? Shoot. Yep. Well, let's just jump into it. Well, I might have jumped.
Maybe.
Stacy, can't you see? Oh, snap. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the Mom of the Week? Tyler, I got to thank you for that picture. I've been looking for that picture for about a week now. Well, a week and a half. And you posted it on Facebook. I'm like, there it is. That's what I needed. So, ladies and gentlemen.
We got you. We got you, bud.
Am I still here? Oh.
Yeah, you're there. I was talking to Tyler.
Oh, okay.
Continue on. We digress.
Continuing on. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to jump into it. The Mom of the Week winner for week 2.
That sound effect gets me every time.
Lindsay Foot.
Nice job, Lindsay.
We got some winners here. So as we all know, once I announce, once we figure out who the Mom of the Week is, I'm going to reach out to him, and I'm just going to get a little bit of a bio from him. So I'm going to read what Lindsay had to say. Our 4th generation foot drivers ready to go fast. We bought 2 mini wedge race cars and they began racing in 2020. They have raced at 8 different tracks on both asphalt and dirt surfaces. That's amazing. I'm just going to throw that on for that. That's awesome. Adding the title Race Mom has been an exciting adventure thus far for me. From making sure gear is packed, coolers are full, recording the races, and helping any way that I can. I really do enjoy every minute of watching my boys chase those checkered flags and watching the smiles on their faces. Everyone always asks me if I get nervous, and I would have to say I get more nervous towards the end of the race because I know the drive and passion that my sons have to give it 100% every time they race. Now, I can't remember the total of feature wins those boys have. We've talked to them quite a few times every Friday night that we see them. It is amazing the amount of wins they have, and we have talked to them. We will be getting the boys on the show because,
The whole Foot Clan.
yeah, I mean, we're going to have to do the whole Foot Clan because I'm telling you, this is the future of racing, and it's because of moms like Lindsay
Preach.
to help do it. So, Lindsay, thank you. You're a hell of a mom. We appreciate you helping build those boys up to keep the sport alive.
And those
Thank
kids, if you ever look in turn one up towards the entrance there's always a flagman, secondary flagman up there who is awesome to watch. I remember wanting to be a flagman when I was a kid, so that's super cool. And those kids, man, they came in clutch season championship night when I broke my left front shock. They were in there. They were gathering tools. They were helping out any way they could. So the work ethic's there. Just a great family. And Lindsay loves some schmallow. So if you ever see her after the race, make sure you give her a shot of schmallow. She loves it. So
yeah, no, huge. Like I said, those kids, they're very respectful out in that track. What they do for the sport at the young age is because of their parents, man. And, especially with Lindsay. So thank you again and congratulations. You are now in the drawing.
So, dude, we got 3 minutes left.
We're probably going over.
Yeah.
Just
Luckily, there's not a lot of upcoming races.
No. So I'm gonna let you hit it, man.
I'd have to double check my dates, but I think Plymouth Motor Speedway has a mod show. I'm not 100% sure. It might be this weekend, might be next weekend, or it may have been last weekend. Last weekend's kind of a blur. But then Michigan Cup's coming up at Springport. We've talked about it. Go out there, support them. They're going to have a damn good show. They'll probably be pushing that 169 car total that Kalamazoo had for the Super Chiefs. So, yeah, just get out there. We're down to the last couple weekends before we can go indoor for New Year's Eve down in Fort Wayne, and then it's a long couple months of nothing. So, once again, congrats to Lindsay. Thanks, Lewis, for coming on the show. Oh, okay. Oh, M40. Yeah. I forgot about M40. Yep, they're coming. Phil with the info. Super Shoe rules at Plymouth this weekend, plus the mods. All right, that's exciting. Okay. Yep.
Oh,
and then
South
Bend,
M40 construction. Okay, man. I guess I need to do some more homework, guys.
Yeah, you do. Jesus.
Holy crap. I'm terrible. I'm sorry, y'all, but hey, you know what? This is why we got fans. Yep. Because they keep us on our toes. So thank you, everyone there. Phil, Tina, Top Row, Tyler,
Brian.
Thank you guys because whoever, everyone. So thank you for that. Because geez, look at Tyler jumping in. Man, I can't keep up. So I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna have to just do some research here.
Yep.
I promise. This is our 8th episode. So real quick before we go to the final segment here, we are 8 episodes in, and I can't thank everyone who follows us.
Yep.
I'm gonna real quick. I am a terrible public speaker. I don't do well. I'm very self-conscious about myself, and this has helped me a lot. Kind of like Lewis was saying, this has helped me, and I can't thank all of you enough for giving me the chance to maybe put a little laughter in your lives on Monday nights. So
that's 100% accurate, Tyler.
He is right. So, all right, real quick. I guess, Paul, we're just gonna go right into it. All right.
All right. Brace yourself. All right. My final thoughts this weekend revolves around Super Shoe and what we kind of touched on earlier. Bryce Bozell, man, that kid, 11 years old. I was still playing with Matchbox cars at 11, let alone wheeling an Outlaw late model and wheeling it fast. So, dude, I hope you get wind of this. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of the way you carry yourself. There was an incident that happened. It was just kind of one of those deals. Whatever. One of the coolest things I saw, though, later that night at the Hot Wheels betting challenge, is I guess we'll call it. Adam Terry and Bryce Bozell just having a good time laughing together. And Bryce went down, talked to Adam right away after the races. That's what this sport needs. I've never seen a bunch of grown-ass adults get so triggered so easily because an 11-year-old is quick. Man, it was pissing me off on Friday night. He was quick time Friday, and the comments and things people were saying, it's just triggered. They were triggered so easy. And what they don't understand, Phil and Andy, they do a bunch for us. They're close by to our shop. Every time I go down there and visit them, Bryce is in there working, and he's not just hanging out. He's busting his ass just as much as Phil and Andy are. So he's not being handed anything. He's working for everything he has. Man, it's uncalled for. Don't attack a kid. Be proud of the guy. We got to get the signs made a comeback. Don't be an asshole. That's all it comes down to. There's a bunch of armchair racers out there. We touched on that in the past too. If you think it's so damn easy, if you think all it takes is a deep pocketbook, there's plenty of race cars for sale. Hell, I'll sell you one. So put your money where your mouth is, grow a set, and come to the racetrack. So, and the fellow drivers, there were some drivers there that were even getting in on it. Like, shut the hell up and just wheel your race car. I'm not going to go down that road. I'm getting fired up just talking about this one again. But Phil, Andy, the whole Bozell clan, you're raising a hell of a kid. Proud of that. Proud of what he accomplished. That kid's going to be in victory lane a lot in big cars. So that's a name you better get used to hearing about. And then lastly, there's a big old storm headed towards Florida. We got a bunch of friends and family down in Florida that are kind of in harm's way. Thinking about you guys. Stay safe. Man, hope you make it through it all right. So with that, cheers.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on that, man. Nope, I'm not. Yeah, folks. Nope, because we could go on for another half hour if I touch on this. We will be bringing Bryce on this show one way or another. Just like the Foot Boys, we need these young kids.
Yep.
And I want them to, and Paul and I've talked about this, the recognition that they may get now is something they may remember the rest of their lives. And if it pushes them to want to continue doing this and to be better, then you know what? We're going to do our part, because what that kid did on Saturday night was, even Friday night, was amazing. And what the Foot Boys done, 19 was it? 19 feature wins this year. Amazing. I know it's a mini wedge and people are going to be like, well, it's just a mini wedge. No, it doesn't matter.
A win's a win.
Feature win.
Yep.
19 feature wins. Friday, Bozell sitting top of the board at 13-1.
13-1.
Come on, guys. We need these kids.
Yep.
And like Paul says, don't push them away, because the sport's can go to hell if you push these kids away.
Every one of these kids that's coming up, there's 5 of us retiring. So yeah, we gotta get more in the sport. And man, it's nice when they can wheel the hell out of a race car too. So it's a win.
So on that note, everyone, thank you again. Make sure you go check out Top Row Racing Media, Facebook. Go check out ours. Our YouTube page as well. Make sure you like and follow to get notifications when we're going live. Check out our YouTube, check out our website. It's all on Facebook.
Yep.
But like I said, thank you. 8 episodes in, and I'm having the time of my life, and I can't wait for more.
Amen.
Paul,
Amen to
thank
that.
you as always for joining me, man.
It's a fun. No place I'd rather be on a Monday night.
I agree, man. All right, folks.
See you, everybody.
Well, have a great night, folks. Thank you for everything.
Thanks for tuning in.